You promise you won't ever, 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 ever tell?
Yes.
I can travel in time.
What would you do if you could travel in time? Do you know the difference between cherish every moment and living in the moment? Join us in our latest Cinephile episode to find out, and be sure to visit our FUNDAY website for more. Hello everyone, I'm Wade, your Cinephile host. About Time is a 2013 British romantic comedy drama film starring Donald Gleason, Rachel McAdams, and Bill Nye. The film is about a young man with the ability to travel in time who tries to change his past and his love life in hopes of improving his future. Tim Lake grows up in Cornwall, in a house by the sea, with his father James, mother Mary, absent-minded uncle Desmond, and free-spirited sister Catherine, also known as Kit Kat. At the New Year's Eve party, Tim misses his opportunity to kiss a girl. The following day, on his 21st birthday, Tim learns from his father that the men of his family have a secret ability.
Get ready for spooky time. But there's this family secret. And the secret is that the men in the family can travel in time. Well, more accurately, travel back in time. We can't travel into the future.
This is such a weird joke.
It's seriously not a joke.
Tim jokingly asks how it's done. His dad shows him and tells him to try it for himself. Still not convinced, Tim walked into his room, found a dark space, clenched his fist, and thought of a time he wanted to travel back to. When he opens up the door, he's back at the New Year's Eve party, but this time, he kisses the girl. Convinced, Tim returns and asks his dad all kinds of questions. James discourages his son from using his gift to acquire money or fame, and Tim decides he will use it to improve his love life. The following summer, Kit Kat's friend, Charlotte, visits. Tim is instantly smitten, but waits until the end of her stay to tell her how he feels. She tells him that he should have told her earlier, so Tim travels back in time to tell Charlotte in the middle of the holiday. But she advised him to wait until her last day. Heartbroken, Tim realized she's uninterested in him and that time travel cannot change anyone's mind.
Big lesson number 1. All the time travel in the world can't make someone love you.
Bye!
So the love of my life just drove away. And the very next day, it was my turn to leave.
Tim moves to London to pursue a career as a lawyer, living with his father's acquaintance, Harry, an angry misanthropic playwright. Tim's search for love seemed hopeless, until one day he visits a restaurant that serves its customers in complete darkness. There he meets Mary. They flirt in the dark and instantly share a connection. Afterwards, Mary gives Tim her phone number. Tim, overjoyed, returns home to find a distraught Harry, whose opening night of his new play had been ruined by an actor forgetting his lines. Tim goes back in time to put things right, and the play is a triumph. However, when Tim tries to call Mary, he discovers that by going back in time to help Harry, the evening with Mary never occurred. He recalls Mary's obsession with Kate Moss, so he awaits for her at the exhibition. After an entire week, he finally sees her.
Sorry.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm fine.
It's so good to see you.
We've never met before.
Oh no, fuck. No, of course we haven't.
No, sorry, I think you've mistaken me for someone else.
Tim tries to convince Mary that he's not a creep, and eventually finds a way to hang out with her along with her friend Joanna. but soon discovers that Mary now has a boyfriend. So Tim goes back in time and discovers when and where they met, turning up early before the potential boyfriend arrives, and persuades Mary to leave with him instead.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Tim.
Mary.
It's my mother's name, but let's not get into that. So I know this is forward, but your face tells me that you're finding this party to be a living hell. So I just wondered if you might come and have a bite to eat with me instead.
Hesitant at first, Mary agrees to eat out with Tim. They immediately share a bond and fall in love. We see a montage of moments at the subway station that shows their relationship developing. One night, Tim encounters Charlotte, who now seems interested in him. But he turns her down, realizing at that moment that Mary is the one. He proposes and they visit Tim's family.
Sorry, I've got an important announcement to make.
Exciting.
We've decided, after a little bit of thought, to get married.
That's wonderful news! Who are you getting married to?
To Mary. Over there.
Oh, thank God for that. Jolly embarrassing if it had been another girl, imagine that.
I'm so pleased.
Oh no, sorry. By the way, the wedding will be quite soon. Because we're having a baby too.
They marry, and on their wedding day it downpours, but they still made it a memorable celebration. Soon, their daughter Posey is born. Kit Kat's drinking habit leads her to crash her car on Posey's first birthday. As Kit Kat recovers, Tim decides to intervene in her life. He prevents the car crash and takes Kit Kat back in time to avert her unhappy relationship with Jimmy. They manage to return to the present, but Tim later finds Posey has never been born, and he has a son instead. So, Tim goes back in time seeking answers from his father.
Have a quick word.
Yeah, sure.
I can't go back past the birth again, can I?
No, I should have mentioned that. You're okay till it comes out. But the exact sperm at the exact moment got you this particular baby. So if you do anything the tiniest bit different, you'll have a different child.
So, every day up till yesterday is as it will always be. Lost.
Just like for everyone else.
Tim accepts that he cannot change his sister's life by changing her past. He allows the crash to occur, ensuring Posey's birth. And he and Mary helps Kit Kat face her problems to improve her own life. She eventually settles down with Tim's friend, Jay, and has a child of her own. Tim and Mary have another child, a baby boy. As they go about their day-to-day life, Tim receives a disturbing call and learns that his father has terminal cancer that even time travel cannot change.
How long have we got?
Oh, you know, it could be years.
How long, really?
Weeks, I'm afraid.
He gives Tim some final advice on how to lead a happy life by telling Tim to live each day twice in order to truly be happy. First, with all the everyday tensions and worries, but the second time, noticing how sweet the world can be, how the imperfections can add to living a fulfilling life. Tim follows his instructions and finds the beauty in the day-to-day. Not long after, his father dies. Tim travels back in time to visit him whenever he misses him. One day, Mary tells Tim she's ready for a third child, but Tim is reluctant because a third child would mean no more visits with his father. So he makes one last visit, and together they travel back to relive a fond memory from Tim's early childhood. As time goes by, everyone moved on with their lives, and Tim shares a life lesson of his own.
And in the end, I think I've learned the final lesson from my travels in time. And I've even gone one step further than my father did.
Okay, I'll do the kids.
No, don't worry. I'll do them.
Yeah, you do them, you lazy bum.
The truth is, I now don't travel back at all, not even for the day. I just try to live every day as if I've deliberately come back to this one day, to enjoy it, as if it was the full, final day of my extraordinary, ordinary life.
I don't get many things.
We hear Tim narrate these profound words while a montage of all kinds of people of all ages living out their extraordinary, ordinary life. We're all traveling through time together, every day of our lives. All we can do is do our best to relish this remarkable life. 接下来 Ruby 要揭晓今天电影迷真爱每一天 About Time 要教我们些什么。So Ruby, I think it's about time for us to learn something today.
Yes, I see what you did there. So do you know how to translate about time?
应该不是关于时间吧？
Well, usually no, 但这部电影的主题的确是指关于时间，而常用到的 It's about time 则是早该做某事的意思。
Oh, that's right. 电影里也讲到另一个重点就是 to cherish every moment.
To really live in the moment.
Is it that the same thing?
Well, similar but different.
Oh, cherish every moment and live in the moment 差别是
Cherish 是珍惜的意思，所以前句是说珍惜每分每秒。While live in the moment means to focus on the present.
珍惜现在 right?
Yes, not leaving any regrets 或是花心力担心未来。
It's like I've always said, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift. That's why we call it the present.
That's beautiful. Did you come up with that?
I sure didn't. Eleanor Noisebelt did. Well, I'm Wade.
I'm Ruby.
I hope you've learned something useful in this episode of Cinephile as I did. You can find more on the FUNDAY website.
Let's make every day a fun day.
This is such a weird joke.
It's seriously not a joke.
So you're saying that you and Grandad and his brothers could all travel back in time?
Absolutely.
And you still do?
Absolutely.